So I thought I would do a quick, off the cuff, spontaneous video because there's something on my mind that I really want to share, and I really want to, well, not even share, just get it off my mind so it doesn't bother me anymore. And it doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you. I just thought also it'd be a good idea for a video. So I'm on my lunch. I thought I would just pick up the camera and just shoot the video and see what happens. And I'm not, this isn't scripted or anything. I just thought, yeah, why not pick up the camera and just let it off my chest. So I want to talk about victim mentality and why it's the quickest way to not achieving what you want to achieve, whatever that is. Whether you want to make more money, whether you want to get that job that you've always dreamed of, like you're in a shit job in a rat race and you're depressed and anxious about going into work, you're on shit money. Yeah, so things like that. Even actually, whether you're single and you've been craving to finally have a relationship with someone, but you can't seem to find anyone, you can't seem to find a partner, you keep getting turned down to go on dates, or no one's, I don't know, no one's matching with you on Tinder or dating apps, anything like that, right? If you're someone who is going through those sorts of things, or you have another goal, you have a dream in life, but you blame other people for those things that you're not getting, that is the quickest way to never, ever, ever achieving them or achieving anything in life. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is, or the reason I'm getting this off my chest, is because I was in Costa Coffee the other day, and I was working, I was doing my work, and I was on my laptop enjoying my coffee, and I wasn't really listening 100%. There was two guys next to me talking, catching up, and I was in and out of the conversation because I was genuinely doing my work, trying to focus. And they were talking, but I overheard a few things. And all I heard from one of them was talking about his life, how shit it is at the moment, how he can't afford to pay his rent, how his girlfriend's dumped him, how that's what I heard. Loads of things like that, just negative, toxic shit, basically. Pardon my French. But he was blaming everyone else. I heard him blame his parents for how he is. I heard him blaming the government for rental, like how expensive rent is. Yes, they are massively to blame as well because of inflation and lots of things like that. I won't get into that obviously because that's a whole different video, but he was just blaming everyone, not taking any accountability for his own actions. Now, of course, there are at times certain people to blame, certain factors that you can't control. Okay, you know, you could be, for example, if you're a murderer, you're in prison, right? The chances are you've had a shit upbringing. Like, your parents are a big part of why you're in prison, in my opinion. It's that whole nurture over nature thing, right? However, for most people, there comes a point where you're like, when can I stop blaming people and just pull my finger out, get my arse into gear, and actually start achieving things, actually start going for things, actually taking risks. This guy was also complaining about like his shit job he doesn't like. He's in the rat race. He's stressed all the time. He wakes up every morning, doesn't want to go into work, hates his boss, hates his job, he's got no money. And I'm just like, why are you blaming other people for that? Like, your life is your life. You are responsible for your life. Yes, it is harder for some people, okay? Some people have other commitments. Some people have children to provide for, so they can't just quit their job straight away. But, life is what you make it. And victim mentality, I promise you, is the quickest way to not achieving your dreams. It's the quickest way to not achieving what you want to achieve. I know people personally, friends, family, who they are in that position where they're blaming parents, they're blaming external factors for their own mistakes in life. And I think it's such a toxic, damaging mentality to have. And I hope that people who are watching this maybe agree with me, because I used to be like that, kind of, not on the scale of this guy was talking about. But a few years ago, I remember when I was in a difficult position myself. I was in a job I hated. I was so skint, right? What were we, 2025? After I left university in 2015, I graduated. And from late 2015 to up to about 2020, like just when COVID hit, I was doing shit jobs, like literally cleaning shit, because I was cleaning toilets at one point, for shit money, minimum wage, not even minimum wage, 0-hour contracts, so I didn't even have work much of the time. I was in 10 grand plus more debt, credit card debt, payday loan debt, had a gambling addiction. Like, the only thing that I didn't do, thankfully, was drugs, or I didn't really drink much. So my kind of saving grace was the fact that I was massively into my fitness, going to the gym, lifting weights, running, football. So that helped me kind of have some control over my life. I think if I didn't have those things, I'd have definitely had a downward spiral. And for a brief period, I was blaming people, my parents. I was blaming people for my upbringing. Not a lot, but occasionally those thoughts would come into your head, because if you blame people for your mistakes, it's just easier to deal with it. People don't want to take accountability for their own mistakes, because it's hard to admit that you fucked up in life. It really is. But the bravest thing you could do is take control, take accountability, admit that it's your fault, it's the position you're in, it's your fault. Because once you admit that, then you're kind of at peace with yourself, and then you can kind of then figure out a way how to break through that, how to achieve what you want to achieve. And that's what I did. I got on the self-help kind of escalator, if that makes sense. Started reading loads of books, loads of podcasts. I started doing like Facebook lives like this, which is YouTube, but you get the idea. Live videos. I even started my own Facebook group, and I was building a community about personal development. And this was kind of like during COVID. And the biggest thing I did was move out of home, because I was in an environment which was toxic. And my life was a bit too, yes, I was in debt, gambling addiction, etc. But my life was a bit too comfortable. At home, I mean. So what I did, I moved out. I moved in with a friend. Had to pay rent, albeit not loads like it is now, but I, barely made ends meet. But moving out of an environment and living with someone who was positive helped me massively. So I know I've gone off a bit of a tangent here, but what I'm trying to say is, don't play the victim card, because it never works. All it does is make you feel worse about yourself in the long run. You need to take control of your life, have some accountability, admit that it is you. You are the reason that you don't have any money, that you have a shit job, that you aren't in a relationship, or you're in a toxic relationship. You are the reason. I'm sorry to say. So you need to have some accountability. Take control of your own life. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming the government. It's not their fault. It might be partly their fault, but it's not really their fault. It's very minimal, you know. So take control of your life. Have some accountability. Stop playing the victim card. And yeah, just work out a way how you can achieve what you want to achieve, you know? Because life's tough, right? Life is tough. And things are only going to get worse, especially in the UK. So, yeah, anyway, I know I'm ranting and I'm going off on a tangent, but as I said in my last video, I'm really passionate about this sort of thing. Because I was there, like I just said, a few years ago. I was in a heap of shit, like my life is shit. So, and now it's great. So I've been there. I've got a lot to say. Sometimes I articulate it in a way where I go off on tangents and a bit long-winded probably, but I'll get better at that, I'm sure. But anyway, hope you all have a good day, and yeah, sorry for ranting, but don't play the victim.